And welcome sa aton palatuntunan ng Hangpanay portions ng Community Communications Network. We are happy to be back here. Kag nagapasalamat kita sa padayon ninyo nga pag-upod sa amon sa sininga palatuntunan. Kag nagadalagi hapon kami sa mga importante nga mga informasyon nga makapabag-os ang kalidad sa aton pagpangabuhi. Kag makahatag sa aton sang inspirasyon diri sa aton padayon nga pagpangabuhi sa adlaw-adlaw nga tanan. Ang programa nga inidala sa inyo sang PIA kabuylog ang Cable Star Incorporated, kag kaubuylog man ang inyo alagad si Elsa Subong sang Philippine Information Agency. Magadala kita sang matahom nga mga balita karon sa isa ka ahensya nga dapat tamdon gid nato ng papel bangod in the aspects of development. Kinahanglan nato ng ginatawag nga equitable distribution of benefits, and that include housing. Sa pagpanumbalik naton, dalhon naton sa inyo ang Housing and Land Use and Regulatory Board.
Sinabi niya sa nanay ko, mabibigyan nila ako ng trabaho. Pwede niya daw akong gawing singer. Sa abroad daw. Doon ako pupunta para magtrabaho. Hindi niya sinabi yung trabaho ay sumayaw ng nakahubad.
Kinulong ako kasama ng mga ibang babae at hindi pinakain.
Umabot nga ako ng Singapore. Pinilit naman ako makipagtalik sa mga foreigners. Doon ako nabuntis.
15 years old lang ako noon.
Dito sa Pilipinas, 100,000 na bata ay pinapasok sa sex trade. I-report ang child sex trafficking. Hindi mo kailangan makita ang mga mukha nila para maramdaman ang takot nila.
We're back sa aton palatuntunan ng Hangpanay portion sa Community Communications Network. Sa gihapon kabuylog ang inyo alagad si Elsa Subong sang PIA, kag sa gihapon ng Cable Star Incorporated. Hatagan naton sang ligwa agod nga magpaathag kag magpadangat sang ilang mga hilikoton subong man sa mga programa ang talatapan sang Housing and Land Use Regulatory Board diri sa aton region in Western Visayas. Kadagakalipay gid kita for the availability of no less than the regional directors sang HLURB. Siguro hindi naton mabatian masami ang ahensya nga ini, hindi man ini siya controversial, but it has so many big roles to play kung ang paghahambalan ang ginatawag nato na kauswagan sa aton nga komunidad. So I'm happy to welcome here sa palatuntunan for the first time, wala sang liwan kundi ang regional director sang Housing and Land Use Regulatory Board in Western Visayas, Director Pilar Jamandre. Ma'am, welcome sa palatuntunan.
Good morning, Elsa. And nagkapasalamat kita po sa PIA sa pag-imbitar sa amon Subong aga para nga makighangpanay man sa inyo programa.
Okay, I think this is the first time you've been here sa palatuntunan natin, or you've been here
I've
before?
I've been with this Cable Star, I think for the promotions ng amon mga housing fair bala, no?
Okay.
Pero I've been also a couple of times guested do sa inyo
sa
Pihak na station,
okay.
Radio station.
Okay, so we're happy to have you here, ma'am, no? Kumusta ang pangabuhi naton?
Maayo gid.
Okay.
So,
you're still enjoying the job in government after all these years, so because we would like to let you know nga, Director Jamandre is one of the seasoned regional directors of government agencies. So
hindi man gida. It is just that siguro in the process of us having our lives be better, getting better, or if we choose to be happier, we have to really love our jobs, no? And love what we're doing.
I think matahomin na pamatian because in this portion of our lives, no, sa panahon na ngayon, we have been serving the government for quite some time, many years. We would have felt siguro nga we belong, and I think we also are convinced that we have done so much also, even in little ways sa aton nga pagpangabuhi, especially for a regional director like you.
Hindi man gida ang ato nga obra. I've been with government for the last 34 years. This is my 34th year.
Wow.
And we have been doing different kinds of jobs at different times also. So, though, ang inahambada na ginabala nga, you have to bloom your planted. Amo na lang nang akon nga
grow well. I think you've been blooming all the years, Director.
Amo na rin ko, gina-enjoy na lang aton nga life, no? Even the responsibilities na ginahatag sa aton.
You have been with the Housing and Land Use Regulatory Board all these years?
Yes, actually, ang Housing and Land Use Regulatory Board is a transformation from what we had in the past, no? Sa mga times ni President Marcos bala, kundi ang aton to nga Minister of Human Settlements was Mrs. Marcos, no? We were then named the Human Settlements Regulatory Commission.
Okay.
Ang amon nga mother agency was the Ministry of Human Settlements.
Yeah.
But then, in 1986, soon after the EDSA Revolution, bala mo naman, gin-drop ang ngalan ang term nga human settlements because it was very much associated with the old regime. So, giname kami Housing and Land Use Regulatory Board. And we were made via Executive Order EO 90. We were made the sole regulatory body for housing and urban development.
Now, when you talk of Housing and Land Use Regulatory Board, what's the very basic mandate of the agency?
Ang amon iyang vision gid is to promulgate sa mga rules and regulations that will enhance housing and urban development, no? Housing and urban regulations. And of course, through the promulgation and enforcement also of housing and urban regulations that will promote balance between economic advancement, social justice, and equitable distribution of the economic advancement and benefits for all.
Now, we're talking of housing, and housing is a basic need. Diba sa atin nga pumuluyo, and wherever
food, shelter, housing.
And wherever we go, gina-measure gid naton ang quality of development also in terms of a government being able to provide decent housing sa iyang mga komunidad kaysa iyang mga pumuluyo. Now, what implication does it have sa functions ng regulatory board?
Nahibalaan ninyo nga ang sang una nga tiyempo ang aton nga housing ara perbi ina sa ginahaboy ina sa una sa National Housing Authority, no? Kag nakita na sang when we were created as a housing regulatory body, nakita na hindi na masarangan sang NHA. So, ginsaylo ang regulatory functions sa amon ang production ato nabilin sa National Housing Authority.
NHA is supposed to produce and build houses. Okay. Yours is to regulate.
We're talking about the resettlement kag sang mga resettlement projects.
Okay.
Sa mga low-cost housing, resettlement projects nga para iya sa aton nga mga homeless and those who have less in life.
And those who cannot afford housing, kag magbakal sang mga dalagko ng mga
ang regulatory aspect inside sa amon, which means to say that we regulate the business side of housing.
Okay. What does it really mean when you say regulate? Does it mean you have policies, you have rules?
As I have said earlier, Ms. Elsa, we promulgate and enforce housing regulations. So we see to it that different types of housing levels have different types also of regulations and physical standards.
Okay. Can we have an example of regulation, for example, in housing?
One of the basic regulations nga gina-promote nga nabutang sa RA 72279, no? Ang Urban Development of Housing Act of 1992 was that ang tanan nga mga development projects who are into housing should have a socialized housing counterpart. Amoy na nga tawag na balanced housing.
It's a very
ang
important regulation.
Kung socialized housing. Kung negosyo ka, kung open market, economic housing or socialized housing, dapat tiada ka mga portion nga para sa mga imo. No?
Okay. Now, it is said that 20% ang socialized housing, no? So what does that mean? Paano gina-implement Director?
Either by cost or by area.
Okay.
So, for example, if a developer has a 10-hectare open market housing or economic housing, 20% ina sang total cost or total area ang i-provide niya, set aside niya for socialized housing. That makes it balanced development.
What do we mean by socialized housing, Director Jamandre?
Amo ina siya nga aton nga mga kategory balalo sa level, kung siya ang pinakanubo nga level sang aton nga negosyo as a developer nga mahimo niya. ang iya sina may mga ara na siya nga, for example, nga mga land prices. Hindi siya mag-exceed sa 400,000 house and lot package na.
Okay.
So because it is a little bit cheaper compared to the others, ang iya man niya nga standards, manubo-nubo man niya ikumpara sa mataas-taas nga mga klase. So ang iya sina nga land sizes could be just ang minimum is 64 square meters. Ang iyang floor area could vary from 24 to 28, pwede na siya. Pero kung ang iya sina nga lot size is smaller than 64, dapat magbaligya ang mga aton nga mga developers kag mga negosyante, dapat it should have house and lot package.
Now, we're looking at subdivisions, no? Kadamo-damo na gid even
isa lang na sa mga functions sa Miss Elsa, ha?
So, abi subdivisions, halimbawa, kaya amo nang pinakadamo, gina-turn na gani mga agricultural lands natin yung subdivisions. Ano dara ang ginatawag na socialized housing? If I am a developer of a subdivision, I am not na in reality. Halimbawa, and I have several hectares of houses, all these things, how does socialized housing apply to me?
Amoy ang ganang inhambal naton kaina nga inang kwan gina siya is a requirement
put aside gid ako
put aside 20% area for socialized, or you can go into other forms of compliance. Like for example, you can go into a joint venture with the local government. You can develop yourself, or you can buy housing bonds. There are many ways of complying. You can go into a joint venture with a community mortgage program. Kaisa man na nga gina manage ang amon mga housing sister, who is the Social Housing Finance Corporation.
So para initial bival daw low-cost housing package na pwede ma-avail sa mga makasarang lang mga 400,000.
400,000.
Pwede nila siya i-financing o
pwede na siya in-house financing, pag-ibig. Sa una may GSIS.
So all the developers here, are they complying with that?
Yes, of course.
Ano ang compliance natin?
Hindi sila ma-aprobahan, makakuha sang lisensya. Pero ang gusto ko tani ang gusto ko tani i-istorya sa imo, Mr. Elsa, ang amon ubra sa Housing and Land Use Regulatory Board, tatlo gidya. Apat na gani.
Let's look at those.
Isang una, inang basic naman is planning. We started off with planning way back in 1979. Plano kami, we helped out in the formulation of what we call comprehensive land use plans. CLURBs na which in the past was named as the town plans and zoning ordinances. Thereafter, kung may may planning na siya nga function, and then we also help out in the public hearings hasta gid nga matapos ginang aton nga mga ma-approve gina sang appropriate nga mga bodies. Ang ikaduha namon is the regulations, no? Ang amon regulations amon gani ang subdivisions, no? We also likewise register. So as of now, gin-transfer sa amon ang registration and supervision of homeowners and homeowners associations, which used to be done by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Ang pagkatapos, you also likewise register brokers. Ang ika-third naman nga function is quasi-judicial. Because of the because of the laws that we implement and we enforce, may mga problema nga nag-aabot, no? So we are a quasi-judicial body which looks into and investigates into and adjudicates the rights, no? Sang mga issues between the buyer and the developer, between, as we have said, the homeowners association, between some members, between some duha ka homeowners associations and the like, no? Nagkuan na siya, nag-expand.
We look at the cases later, no? Kung anong status.
So, amon ang hambal ko bila nga PRA, Planning, Regulations, and Adjudication.
Do you have a fourth function? Wala
naman.
Okay. So, PRA, planning, regulation, and adjudication. Now, sa planning, no, let us go to that first function first. Sili mo kaina, you were assisting in the all LGUs?
Yes.
Sa preparation
of the kami to help out LGUs. So, especially when the local government code also was promulgated, no, way back in 1992. We have to continuously, in the past we had, but our function of assisting local governments in the formulation of their CLURBs, gin-stress